G'day, what is going on? It's Jacob. Hope you're having a fantastic day. I was just getting a bit of work done from home on a Monday afternoon, and I just wrapped up doing an onboarding review for a new academy client who's in personal development, mindset kind of space. He has an offer that is focused on helping people who reach kind of a midpoint in their life and they've followed all the rules. They've got the nice house, they've got the family, they've got the car, insert whatever else. Maybe they get to do a bit of travel, they've got the job, they followed the path, they got the promotions, they did all the stuff that they were told to do, but they don't feel good inside. Something is off, something is missing. They're asking the question of, is this kind of it? And not the easiest offer to run. All right. We're not talking about lose 10K, lose 10 kilos, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever. We're not talking about make 10K, 50K, 100K, $1 million. It's different. It's different to that. So I was just doing his onboarding review, and I do that for every new academy client, at least at the time of filming this. Details are below for the academy. And what I wanted to talk to you about in this video was just structurally, there was something in his onboarding form that grabbed my attention, and it's a mistake that a lot of people make. And I want to explain what I advised him to do. And hopefully, if you are dealing with this or you come across this in the future, you can take this advice and use it to keep things really, really simple, keep things lean, and be able to move forward with less resistance. Okay. So he's currently got, he's quite early on with this offer, but he's got a community that's making him about $400 a month. So, super early on in terms of this offer. And he also wants to do some one-to-one work, and he's got a 10K one-to-one offer mapped out as well, right? Now, the community type offer, I guess what you might consider his front end, not front end in the sense that it's low ticket, as in like a, $7, $17. It's £100 a month, or about $900 for the year. So you're pretty typical kind of like continuity pricing. And then he's got the 10K one-to-one, like I said, as well. And he said on his onboarding form that he wanted to add a group offer. Okay, so he wanted to insert something between those two offers. And this is an offer that I've got a lot of experience with. This is pretty much what I launched as my first offer that I scaled to $1 million, which was in the affiliate marketing space back in 2020. And I run an offer in this range with the academy. It's $2,000. You can see it below. And so it's a really, really powerful structure and a price point. It's got enough margin in it that it can be juicy for you from a business perspective. It's got leverage in delivery in that you can do, group calls, you can have a group container, and you can enroll volume while still maintaining a certain level of intimacy in your delivery if you manage it correctly. But it's not always the right answer. Okay, it's not always the right answer. So what I said to this Jed was, in this current phase where he's building up his traffic, building up his ecosystem, he's already got the, $97 a month and kind of the $900 annual, and he's got the one-to-one that he wants to do. I wouldn't be adding another offer into the stack. I wouldn't be adding in another layer of complexity, because what this is going to do is it's going to mean that he's probably got to run another group call or two each week. He's going to need to manage another community. He's going to need to create enough differentiation in his value proposition between the community that he's already got and this group offering. He's going to need to juggle delivery between that, the community, and the one-to-one as it comes online. And in this phase, in this season, you just don't need it. Okay. And so what I told him, there's a couple of different things I want to put on the table here. I want to explain what I told him, and then a potentially kind of different way that you could tackle things if you don't already have like that community style offer in place. So here's what I told him with his $97 offer already in place. I said, Let's just make that effectively the group offer. So there's the monthly recurring income that can come in from it. You get kind of the group coaching type pricing, a bit less at like 900, 1,000 from the annual. And let's just point all roads to that, because one of the core things that I talk about in whenever I'm talking about this lifestyle business operating system, which is what I help people install inside the academy, is we want a North Star for our ecosystem. So when we set up the bones of the ecosystem, there's a few moving parts. There's ads and content, or ads or content, depending on what you want to do. And that all leads to an email list at the core. Once someone joins the email list, they get automated emails typically for 1 to 2 weeks that indoctrinate them into our way of doing things. And you can apply this to any market. I've got clients in all kinds of weird and wonderful niches. While the emails start going out, we layer in typically YouTube to help nurture in the middle of funnel as well. And then typically remarketing ads will kick in that phase as well. And so between all of those things, so between the ads, between the content if you're doing it, the emails, YouTube, remarketing ads, that creates our top and our middle of funnel, right? Now, what we do is we channel all of that towards one core offering. And what this does is it essentially gives people a clear path where they're really just deciding, do I want to do this or not? They're not trying to decide from 15 different offers. Now, once we get things in place, and once things are really rolling, we can layer in a bit of variability, and we can run campaigns and all this kind of stuff. But the foundational version of the operating system is having that one core offer. The other thing that this allows us to do is what I'm big on helping my clients carve out is their method or their system. And so this gent has a methodology that he calls reforged leadership. And so what I said to him was, we need to build the entire ecosystem around this methodology. And so if people are sold or pre-sold on this methodology, they can get value from your free content or maybe low ticket offers that go over this or pieces of this. And then if they want to implement it with you, that's what happens inside the community. So it's just a decision about am I going to take the next step or not? And it keeps it really, really clean and simple. And so that's why I recommend having this single core offer. And so what I said to him was, let's make that our main thing. Let's not add this group thing now. And then you can just focus exclusively on growing that. All ads, all content, all nurture points to that. Whether you open and close it or not, or if it's kind of always open or you run specials, we can sort that out later. But let's just keep it mega simple and point all roads to this $97 a month, $900 a year offer. Then he can focus on growing that, delivering an amazing experience. And from within that group, he can cherry pick the one-to-one clients that he wants to work with. And I just gave him a simple 2-page Google Doc that I use to sign my 10 to 20K one-to-one clients. And it's literally like 2 pages. And the reason that he can use that and the reason that I use that is because by that point, the relationship is so established. You don't need a big pitch. You don't need a big sales call. They've already got a relationship with you. They've done some work with you, and it's just a no-brainer. It makes sense. And so you can just sell it with a simple document. And so for him, now what the flow is going to look like is that ecosystem all built around that core methodology flowing into one single main offer. And then he can kind of sit back and just pick out the best people that he really wants to work with one-to-one, that he really thinks he can help, and that he builds that really strong connection with. And then that makes delivery amazing. It makes it so enjoyable because you're not selling one-to-one. You're not selling proximity and capacity to people that you've got no experience working with yet. Okay. The other thing that we can do is we can focus on really compounding this thing because of how simple it is. And so another piece of advice that I gave him was, for every new person that's coming in, make sure that you're asking them 20 to 30 questions that just give you so much information about them as an individual so that you can cater the delivery experience, but also about why they've joined, their current situation, what they're looking to change, and from your marketing, what really resonated. Because then we can extract that and we can feed it all back into the top and the middle of funnel again to double down on that same messaging. Because if it worked for that one person, it's going to work for more people. Okay. So that was my advice to him, to avoid adding complexity, to really build that straight line all around the core methodology. You can see this was, I need to clean this up. This was a ramp that Hendrik was using for his Hot Wheels cars. We just had a bunch of wind come through and it's flipped it over the other side of the balcony. And so he can then compound it through all of the information that comes in, and it just keeps it really, really simple. Okay. Now, one additional piece of advice that I want to give to anybody that's in a kind of similar-ish position. Another way that you could approach this is, if you didn't already have that community piece in place, you could just start out selling one-to-one. Okay. So you could literally just focus on content, ads, to the email, to YouTube, the middle of the funnel, and just focus on selling one-to-one spots. Then once you get your first, say, 5 to 10 one-to-one clients, you can make them the founding members. You can just comp them in, because it's going to be at a significantly lower price than the one-to-one investment that they've made. You can make them the founding members of either a community or of a group program, which is built around the same methodology. It's built around the same system. It's just a different set of deliverables at a different price point with different proximity. What this solves the problem of is, now you can launch that community with people that you've worked really closely with, ideally that you've done really great work with. They're a big fan of you and they're going to be really engaged, even if it's like 10 people. Then when you launch the community, let's say you bring in another 10 people when you first launch it, you've got that foundation of 10 really, really engaged members, and then you've got 20 people and you're off to the races that way. Okay. We didn't need to do that in this case because you'd already launched the community. You already had members in there because you launched it at a lower price and then kind of bumped up the price. But if you don't have the community piece and you still want to keep it simple and ultimately end up with a similar offer structure, that's how I'd recommend that you approach it. Okay. Hopefully there was something in there that you can take out of that. Keep it lean, keep it simple. And if you want my help with all this, check out the Academy. I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.